live. Hey everybody, let me just change the chat to a live chat in case anybody joins. I wish I could have gotten the thumbnail to fit. None of the apps that I tried for a bit worked, and I'm walking home, so I need to get on with it. I've got some food for me and my mom. Anyways, I'm going to talk about how I think that human-made and real are going to be new certifications for products. With AI clearing a lot of jobs, I think that's going to be a big thing. But first, I'm going to say this because I don't know when else I'm going to remember to say it. I've kind of wanted to do a video on AI for a little while, saying some of these thoughts that I have right here. If we jump forward far enough into the future that robots and AI can do everything to keep humans alive, think about like WALL-E, something like that. Obviously in WALL-E there were problems with the robots and people weren't really connected. There were those issues that they portrayed. But I like to think of when I was young, I thought it would be kind of nice to have robotic servants. They could do the dishes and other chores for me, and they could cook when I didn't want to, but if I felt like making a new recipe, I could do that. But then I watched an episode of the 1954 TV series Flash Gordon, the one with Steve Holland, and it's the episode Return of the Androids. Basically, in the beginning there's this king, I forget his name, but he gives a really good speech that I don't remember all the right words, but basically they're turning off the androids because possessive servants that need no food or rest, we have become stale or stagnant. Something, and basically I forget the exact thing, but basically we become stale and stagnant, so they've turned off the androids. But someone was disguised as an android and they found out only they managed to relay to their informant via a radio on their list that 2 of the 3 secrets needed to activate the androids. Then years later, some bad guys try and hold that information, or try and get the final piece from Flash Gordon. They torture Dale Arden. He tells them that one piece because, they don't have the other pieces of it, so whatever. Well, actually they do. And they use the androids to start attacking places. He breaks out from being held captive and blows up the power source, the end of the androids. So, yeah, I liked that episode. It was pretty good. But the big thing in the beginning, the speech really struck with me. And it makes sense. Imagine in the future when there are so many robots that you can 24/7 sit on the beachside and sip from a coconut. Yeah, you might get tired and bored of that. There's nothing driving us forward. The thing that has kept humans going for so long, and this is if we don't look at the religious aspect of it, and there's like commandments and things that God wants us to do so that we can become like Him. The thing that drives humans forward has been innovation and the challenge and hardship, survival. I mean, that's kind of the thing that drives any. Hold on, what is my? Oh, I see my bag got hooked in. The loop got hooked into my the zipper pull spot. So that's been a big thing that drives us forwards. And if we had robotic servants all the time, well, then you might think, well, I'm fine because I'm a special snowflake. I'm a creative. Yeah, but robots are creative. And, I'm not at the point about talking about the robots taking the jobs yet, and that whole not a can of worms per se, but that whole discussion. But even if you're a creative, maybe if you are a creative, that could work. Maybe if robots give you endless time to pursue your creative passions, that might work. But I think you'd also need to be competing for something. You would need to be good in the human-made space of things. There still has to be something that would drive us forward. So I don't think robots completely doing all of our jobs for us is going to... Oh, great, a little bit of wind. I don't think that's going to be a good state for us. We'll just stagnate and something happen, which might mean that we, I don't know, in WALL-E, become more independent and have less to do with robots. Obviously, they still existed, and, society would still use them, but they were more dependent on the humans. So, getting more into the main topic of this video, this stream, I should say. Before we even get to that point, you have to start thinking about the jobs that people are going to have. As robots start and AI starts taking over jobs, what are people going to do? Initially, I was really in where, given the way I was thinking, AI is going to start taking over jobs. There won't be anything for these people to do. And so until, what's the word? Ooh, I might have to get a Band-Aid out, cover my camera microphones. Yeah, I think I'll do that in just a second. So until AI does all of our jobs for us, there's going to be a period where people don't have jobs and they have to find something, but what is there to find? What do we do in that in-between period where there isn't enough AI that everybody can just relax and do whatever they want, but there's also enough AI that people are in jobs? And then my mom pointed out that we would actually have a decent number of new jobs popping up and working out. Let me go ahead and grab some. Here, we'll just go like this, and I'm going to. So if we think about that, it was displacing a lot of blacksmith jobs and other previous industries. But as time went on, new jobs were created. And I can think of you don't need a blacksmith to make you horseshoes and potentially fix up your wagon. You need a person who can fix your tires and work on your engine. Do car repair stuff. So, with that in mind, I think a lot of jobs coming up could be like a robot repair type person could be a job when we actually do start really taking stuff as far as factory jobs go. And I'm thinking more like where the robots actually walk around the factory. Robot. All right, one more Band-Aid here. Whoops, I'm going for the lens. Perfect. Now you guys won't get any wind. So, robot repair is probably an age where image, but it's humans telling AI to do it. In fact, if you think about like where they had asking them things and it did it, that's cool, but keep in mind that CTs to do this. We still had to ask. And try to generate from my phone. And I don't know, if AI were to ever generate something really weird that I wouldn't want anyone else seeing, I feel a little bit safer that it is on my computer. But I have tried some of the app ones too, here and there, because I've liked comparing things. I like seeing the differences between some of them. The one on here is AI Images, which is with some things, but the biggest challenge I found with AI is when I'm having like a sequence of things together and actually make what I want more for useful. And still being human controlled right now. So I'm also in a stage where I forget who posted it, but it was of a text conversation where one guy was like, dude, your job is like over. I just made an entire website with ChatGPT. You want to see it? Yeah, sure. And so then he pasted a link that was to a file on his C drive. So it's like C/users/whatever his name was /my documents/website.html. So yeah, we're still in a stage where you need some people to be smart, because obviously you need an actual server host for the website if it's going to be online and viewable for the other person, or you send them the HTML file and they view that. But so as it takes over more and gets better, we're seeing a lot of things like I read an article about how famous people don't necessarily need photographers anymore. They can start to take over those jobs or do other times, which basically with that I say we kind of need encryption. So whenever you take photos and video from cameras, they're encrypted, and places can decrypt the video if you want to like proof that this is the original undoctored video for court, and of what I've talked about before, and then also to throw a wrench into the thing here. I don't know if it's true, but I've heard that back in Abraham Lincoln's time, there was a photo that made it look like he was somewhere he wasn't. So a Photoshop, quote-unquote, photo of Abraham Lincoln. We're legitimately in the 80s. So this whole AI putting in places that you're not, like, I can see it's kind of fun. A lot of the apps that make your photo dance and sing, make you look like you're in movies, things like that. But if anything, I was trying one of those apps once just because I wanted to see what it was like, not because I was super excited to generate all of these different images and videos of myself doing silly, crazy things. So that's not my style. But so I did myself as Marty McFly from Back to the Future, and for some reason, his actor's name is, I forget, but I did my older actress. She was in Roman Holiday. Who was it? This one. I'm gonna have to go out and look this one up really quickly. Nope, come on. Okay, we're back. I got it. Audrey Hepburn. I put my mom in as Audrey Hepburn, and I uploaded it to Facebook, and I'm like, Mom, do you notice anything about this short clip? I didn't say anything, just, Mom, do you notice anything? She looked at it, didn't really notice anything, but then after a bit, she's like, wait, is that supposed to be me? And she didn't notice at first because she actually looks like Audrey Hepburn, and she's had a few people tell that to her when she was younger. So I've done some of that, and I can see the appeal for people just wanting to have fun. Like, you've never been to Paris before, but maybe you'd like to go someday, so stand in front of a picture of the Eiffel Tower. We've been photoshopping that stuff for years, or even doing like photo backdrops. I know around 4th of July stuff here, they have a photo backdrop that makes it kind of look like you're in front of the Statue of Liberty. There's been like photo backdrops to make it look like you're standing in front of the temple for different temple open houses. A lot of different things like that. So, I see the appeal for us and for anybody who can't really travel. But, or I can see the appeal for maybe playing a temporary joke, trying to fool your friends. Like, I used Paris as an example. Hey, look, I'm by the Eiffel Tower in Paris. And then you're like, wow, that's so cool. But then you're like, I'm only joking. You can do some not so great things with it. Even if you're just trying to pretend like you're somewhere that you're not, just so that you seem cool, don't do it. It's not worth it. People are going to think less of you when they find out you were lying. But for the famous people doing this, I don't really see the point. I mean, I can understand not having a photographer, but, like, maybe, just a tiny maybe, if you actually flew to Paris and you actually did a tour there or had a trip or whatever, you were actually there, but you didn't want a photographer, and so you just wanted AI to make a nice image of you in front of the Eiffel Tower. Ooh. Here's a pretty little blue jay feather. Cool. Anyways, maybe if that was the case, sure, but just faking yourself in places you're not to get gain and make it seem like you were there, I think is wrong, and I kind of don't really see the point. Because also, like, if I see a photo of a famous person in a certain place, and it's been posted by that famous person, I would want that famous person to have actually been to that famous place, or wherever it was. So, this is where I think that human-made and real are going to come in as certifications for different jobs or products, sorry. Because you have all the AI-made stuff, you have all the factory churned out things, and it's not similar to now, where we do have some stuff that does say handmade, like handmade in the USA. But, keep in mind, I think that's a percentage of the parts have to be assembled in the US. And so you can still get some pieces that are not made 100% in the US. And that's, that's a can of worms right there, actually. But it's going to become even more so. So human-made or photo taken by a human, art made by a human, all these things. I'm not saying that the AI art is bad, but I'm just saying that there's going to be a market for the actual real stuff. There are plenty of people that prefer real stuff. Oh, it's starting to rain now. Great. Thankfully, I'm not too far from home. But, yeah, there are plenty of people that actually prefer this, and they complain about it, and they like to know, oh, this was made by humans, and they want to block all this AI stuff from whatever feed that they get, be it Twitter, Reddit, Facebook, I don't know, maybe Instagram has some AI stuff. I'm positive they actually have some AI photos and things on there now. So a lot of people are wanting to block this. So human-made and real are going to be certifications for things. And just like now, how you might pay a little more for something that has been handmade, handcrafted, especially when you think about like the handmade, handcrafted, like Etsy type things that people make there and sell. Those are often a little more expensive than what you might get somewhere else, turned out by a factory, buy it on Amazon or whatever. But, they've got style, certain characteristics you might not find anywhere else. Cute little bows, maybe you know the person who made those bows, whatever it is. So I think that's going to be, it's not only going to continue to be a thing, but it's going to be a bigger thing more so. And I could potentially see there's a slight possibility for some factories or businesses to be human-made real businesses where they actually have, humans making the stuff, and you pay a little more for it because you know that a human actually did the work to assemble this and design it, and it wasn't designed by just an AI. I don't know how quickly that's going to take on. I'm not saying that it's going to be a big, huge thing, but just think about the different mom and pop stores and restaurants in your area. Even if they do sell things that are already pre-made, like there's a few mom and pop Spanish restaurants around here, but they also happen to sell some pre-bagged snack type items that are Spanish themed, like the salsa flavored chips and stuff. So think about like that, and that's kind of what I expect some of the real human-made stuff to be. Or, well, expand it a little bit and include when you see things that claim they are made in your country, whatever volume you see for that, I think will probably be the volume that you will see for your human-made real stuff. So the non-AI generated music and photos. And I think those are most of my thoughts on this, really. I don't think AI is bad. I think it can be quite useful. In fact, actually, add my aunt to a list of people using AI to generate book covers. Because, like she would have someone make a cover for her, and then she'd be like, I don't quite like it. Can you tweak this? Make their hair red or something. And she said oftentimes they would say, well, here's where I got all those stock images from. Go do it yourself. And with AI, she can. And that's really nice. I mean, you can find some stuff on stock image sites, but it's not quite as perfect and precise. And you won't get the same things. Like with the cover for my poem, I was able to pick different images where it looked like it was the same, if not close to the same person. So yeah, that's pretty much it, my thoughts for this topic. If you guys liked, leave a like down below, and keep in mind that it may be harder to have a job in the future because of AI, but new jobs will pop up to take place of the ones that are being taken over. But also, have a savings, because a thought just popped into my mind. If you have some form of a savings, then you'll be good to weather out a small period of maybe not having a job. Bye.